started here. How's everyone doing? Got a couple cameras set up here today. A couple new lights for us to talk about. As the first couple people get in here, see if you guys can hear me okay. This is the whiskey setup. Looks like we are at the bottom of the bullet bourbon for this stream. So we'll have to go with the something else next time. I'm thinking possibly one of my favorites, Highland Park. We'll probably get into that. Or maybe, as someone has been suggesting, to go with the Bullet Rye. Anyways, cheers. Well, thanks, Jared, for showing up. Yeah, we killed it. It's taken about 6 weeks. I'm not much of a big solo drinker or anything, so they usually last a pretty long time. You know, just basically Wednesday nights hanging out with you guys. Yeah, what do you think of those lights? How are we going? Dathan, thanks for showing up. Let's get this pop-out chat going so I don't get distracted this time. Maybe I can follow along a little bit better. There we go. That should work. All right. So we got a few people in here. We're going to talk about the lighting setup for today. Today I'm using a couple of these Light 5Cs from Nanlite. These are new. Just got announced a couple days ago. Funny story about these. So I was told to post about them basically on the 12th, and that's the only date that I was given. So I posted them on Instagram pretty much at midnight. I stayed up a little bit late and I took some fun little pictures of these things so I could post them. And then I got a frantic message from Nanlite saying, please take that down. We haven't announced it yet. And I was like, well, you guys, you said 12th at, you know, that's all I got. It was the 12th. And so basically every other partner that they talked to, they said, you know, they're not announcing them until 8 a.m. that day. So I took the post down and said, hey, you know, if you guys have an embargo, you should tell me what time it ends at. So I took that down. So anyways, that's the Nanlite Light 5C. Another funny story is I was only supposed to have one of these things. So I got a box with my address on it, obviously, and because I knew I was getting these things soon, and so I didn't think anything of it. Then it didn't have my name on it. It said Danny Gervais. It said his name on it, and so my assumption was, I guess Danny was going to review them and said no, and so they just like forwarded on to the next person to talk about lights. And then a few days later, I got another box, and that one also, of course, had my address on it, but it also had my name on it. So then I was like, I wonder if there was a mix-up. So I emailed Danny Gervais and said, hey, were you going to review a light from Nanlite soon? And I think I might have got yours. And he said, yeah, there was definitely a mix-up. So I messaged Nanlite and I said, hey, you guys sent me someone else's light. You want me to email it or, you know, mail it off for you or something? They said, no, keep it. It's fine. We'll fix it. Sorry. Thanks for telling us. Yeah. So that was that whole situation. And that's the story of why I have two of these things. These things are pretty neat. I'm liking them a lot. They are $79 and they have all these little lenses in them. Let's see if I can get a good shot here. So they've got all these lenses in them, so it's a very directional pocket light. All these little, you know, nice high-intensity lenses. I'm going to review this soon, but until then, I'm just playing with it. I like it. It's got magnets in the back. The one thing I don't like so far is how when you set it down, it turns it off because the button is on the edge of the light. So that's a little bit annoying. That's really the only thing that I've been able to complain about so far. So anyways, let's see what we got going on in the chat today. I'm going to take a sip. We got Jared loving the top camera. Thank you. Nils, he's always showing up here. He's playing Dragon Age alongside. A little distracted. Isn't Dragon Age that phone game that is like advertised everywhere? And yeah, poor Danny. No, they're sending Danny a new one also. So whatever. I emailed Danny. He said it was no problem. He's a nice dude. Aaron, thanks for showing up, man. For a minute there, I couldn't remember if you were starting at 10 or 11, and I checked at 10:05, and you weren't live yet and almost bailed. Thank you for sticking around. Yeah, I usually set these things up super duper last minute. I should definitely plan ahead, but I never do. And that's kind of going to be getting into the topic of being consistent, but we'll get into that after I talk about the rest of the lights here. Johnny D, any good Prime deals you like? I think I saw C-stands for like $100. I usually see Prime Day as like a pretty big waste of money and time. There's never anything amazing on Amazon Prime. Aaron says, one of these days I'm going to convince you to schedule the stream ahead of time. One of these days, maybe. Andy the Lab, the top camera switch that rotates is really cool. Thank you. Here, I don't know if you've seen the other one. I don't know when you showed up. So this is the top camera up here. And then we got the whiskey cam over here. This was this one. Take a sip. So for anyone else that's just joining, we killed this bottle. It's taken about 6 live streams, but we did it. So next time I'm going to go with Highland Park, I think. Andy, the top camera switch. Oh yeah. Here we are. Is that connected to the Arc 2? Yes, it is. So I've got the Arc 2 up on a impact rolling stand with a sandbag on it, of course. So it's kind of, I just have to kind of show you. Let's do this. And while I do this, Gabe Harris, how's your day going, Tommy? Well, we're streaming. It's happening. Here we go. This is the top camera up there. It's floating around up there on the impact stand. Yeah, that's my flying camera. I know it's not a great view of it, but that's what I did. Here we are. Boom. Thank you. Yeah, that's super fun setup. Never buying a stand that doesn't roll again. Yeah, so I stick everything on wheels, and I throw everything that's not on wheels on the walls. And for anything else, I try not to use it. But anyways, a couple more lights that we have going on today. Of course, we've got the Aperture Nova over here. That's providing kind of the lower side of this rim fill light area. And then I've got the LED Go, or LED Go. It's the Alto tube or the Pavo tube, one of the two. I'm going to be reviewing that this weekend. And that's actually, so LED Go is owned by Nanlite. And so or they're all sister companies or parent companies or something like that. So this little guy is the LED Go light, and it's very powerful, very bright. It doesn't use VMount batteries. It requires 20. It can use VMount through DTAP, I guess, if you use, because it's got the little mini XLR connectors for power, but it requires 28 volts. So you can't use a standard VMount. You can use a high power VMount. But it's a great light, and so basically for me it's just AC only right now, so there's no battery power that I have that'll work with it. And the one other Nanlite tool that I have with them is this guy. So this is their Pavo Tube 26C. I'm not using it for this particular stream, obviously. But it's also a full color light. That LED Go tube is also a full color light. These little guys are full color lights. This one is also cool. It's also got magnets in it. I used it in one of my other streams. Oh, these little guys, they're also magnetic. They stick to things. Actually, here, I can show you. So right here. There we go. So magnets. Now, the thing that I don't like about these little magnets is they're not super strong. Sorry, we're wiggling. Like the Aperture MC. So you need more surface area of ferrous material to attach them magnetically to things. whereas the Aperture MC is very lightweight and their little magnets are much more powerful, so you don't need as much surface area. Anyways, that's those things. We got Andy, what other nail light products do you use? Yeah, these little things, awesome. Aaron, taking off, going to bed. See you on the stream Sunday. Yes, I am. I'll see you on Sunday. Thanks for showing up, Aaron. I'm gonna set this guy down. And the remaining lights that I have lighting me for tonight's stream is, I mean, I just kind of gravitate towards the Lupo Super Panel full color 60 with the grid attached. It is just the most convenient lighting setup that I own. Here, this camera's probably gonna be easier to show you. It's just, it rolls around the studio. It's on wheels. It's got a grid. It's great color quality. It's convenient. And so it ends up getting used super often in my studio, not only for these streams, but for lighting myself in most of my videos. Hey, Chris, thanks for showing up. Chris Covarius? Chris C. Thanks for showing up, man. I'm going to give you a cheers. Take a little swig there. I have fans I don't know. You know, that's kind of a mind-blowing thing to think about. That's true. There's people that watch my videos that I've never met and have never had a conversation with me. It doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I just play with lights. Hey, Chris, thanks for showing up, man. Hey, you don't got to blush. It's all cool. We'll just hang out. Ask questions. Gabe, what's the most interesting, promising innovation I have seen? So, Joshio, Make Art Now, he just posted on his Instagram, I don't know, 20 minutes ago maybe, that he's reviewing the new Ronin gimbal, and that one has external autofocus. So there's an attachment that has, I guess, its own little sensor, and so you can attach a module that will autofocus an f/0.95 lens, you know, a vintage or a manual lens for you with their focus attachment wheel. That's super innovative. I'm really excited about that. I think that is going to change a lot of people's games, really. Game changer. And exercise enlightenment. Like your channel, learn a lot. Hey, thanks, man. Thanks for showing up. Another kind of innovative thing is what Red is doing with the Komodo. I think it is super interesting, very exciting. And the main reason why is global shutter in a brand new camera that is $6,000 brand new. So in, like, you know, you'll be able to get a used one for $5,000 soon, and it uses lenses like the EF lens. Like, you could use the Sigma 18-35 with it, which is a very affordable, very high quality lens, and you can get that red color. So I think that the Red Komodo is an innovation in terms of, one, them adjusting their market tactics and strategy, and two, bringing technology down to an affordable level. So maybe the Sony FX6 is going to have a global shutter. I don't know, but that's what I'm currently debating. Is I want to get into the cinema world, and I need to decide between the A7S III plus the FX6, and they're going to share the same lenses, which would be a huge advantage, or to go with the Red Komodo so I could get red footage and red colors and do comparison against red camera stuff, you know. That's something I'm personally kind of struggling with. I really want to make content like the new iPhone 12 versus a red camera. One, because that's interesting content. It's going to get a lot of clicks. A lot of people are going to watch it. Two, I can trick people into learning about lighting. Be like, why does the iPhone footage look so good? Well, it's because lights, and I talk about lights. So that's my end goal, is just to trick people into learning about lighting. But that's kind of where I'm thinking right now. And then on top of that, there's a lot of things that I'm trying to kind of purge that I haven't really touched in over a year in my studio, so I can kind of afford that route. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, YouTube for me is still a hobby. It's something that I can't go into debt doing. So, you know, that's kind of where that is. So that's something I've been considering doing for a while now. We got some comments here. Andy the Lab, I'm really interested in seeing how the RS2 may work on a car. That is interesting. I'm interested to see that. I will watch your video on it. Chris Caveris, so many of us watch but might not comment or miss your live streams. We're the invisible followers whom you've changed and improved our videography. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. I would love to see some of the things that you've made, maybe some of the things that you've made after applying something that I've taught you. I think that'd be the most, in return, inspiring back to me, you know, because that drives me. That makes me want to make more stuff to teach people how to do things. I really appreciate you guys. You and Gabe Harris. Awesome. Thank you guys. Shovik says, Fujifilm also got global shutter sensors. They might use them in the XH2 or rumored GFX 120. You know, I reviewed the GFX 100. Incredible camera for photography. I cannot believe how much detail you can get out of that camera. It's awesome. But it's also kind of unwieldy in terms of using it as a traditional video camera. There is, you know, not traditional video camera. Nothing's traditional. It's mirrorless, you know, like what I'm used to, a small mirrorless camera. So if you're holding it, right, and you've got the GFX 100 has huge lenses, right? They stick way out far. And so you have to hold the lens like this or like this, and then it's top heavy. It's really hard to balance on most gimbals. And the lenses and the sensor stabilization, because it's so big and there's so much glass and sensor moving around, is extremely noisy. So while the image that it produces is beautiful, one of the most beautiful images that comes out of a camera in that form factor, it's also extremely uncomfortable to use, and it's difficult to record high quality audio. But it's the only medium format camera in that range that will do what it does, I believe still. So that's something to think about. Jacob Cry says, how important is full frame to you? It's not. I don't care. I mean, this camera right here, this is a GH5. That's micro four thirds. This camera over here, this is the Fujifilm X-T3, which has the same sensor as the Fujifilm X-T4, which is I always get dyslexic on these letters. APS-C, that's what it is. Which, you know, it's not full frame. That's not full frame. The Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K is in full frame. My only full frame camera that I currently own is the Nikon Z6, if that's not hilarious enough, right? So the Z6 is an incredible camera in its own right. It's got great autofocus. The tracking interface is incredible. It takes a beautiful image. It's got in-body image stabilization. You can find them used for like $1,200. It's a great camera. It's just there's no hype, and the lenses for the new Z system are insanely expensive. So that's, and then the Nikon Z6 Mark II is just essentially lackluster. It's like, just give us the flip out screen, give us RAW without having to mail our Z6 in to like upgrade it. That was one of the most ridiculous things about Nikon, is you had to mail in your camera to get an upgrade to record RAW over HDMI. That made me lose a lot of respect for what Nikon was doing. Like, just give us the firmware update. Come on. So full frame, I don't care. You don't actually gain anything from full frame other than a different set of lenses you have to buy. Stick with whatever system you're already invested in. If you're investing into a new system, full frame is probably going to be easier to resell because more people think it's popular. I don't know. There's just a few things to think about. Thank you, by the way. Exercise Enlightenment. I love your take. Lights over camera, very helpful as I build my look for videos and live stream. Lights have been my learning obsession. Hey man, dude, lights are where it's at. They control the story. They control the mood, the emotion, the aesthetic. Lighting really controls everything. Thanks for showing up, Jake Sloan. We got here one more light that I didn't talk about, which I've been using a lot. Still is just this Came TV Bolton Andromeda Slim Tube with the little toy remote. I always have it mounted in the back. It's just, now I'm just a silhouette, right? It's not super bright, but it is full color, and it's got a remote control. And I can just swoop these colors around really easy. If you're trying to do what I'm doing with it, it works really well. Lighting is where it's at. And yeah, I've debated getting an X-T4 for a long time. I really like the X-T4. I was invited out to their launch event. Such a great camera. They have some of the best colors straight out of camera ever. Love it. Hey Tom, thank you for suggesting the Falcon Eyes RX8 TD bicolor and the Aperture MC. Those are helping me a lot with the low light issues with my Canon SL200. Thank you. You're welcome. Thanks for listening. Thanks for, asking me for advice. I appreciate, that it's helped out. And how do you keep them, the Fuji GH5, all powered for hours? Well, fun story on that one. So over here, as you can see, I've got, this is my Fuji X-T3, and it is being powered over USB-C through a VMAT battery. And that is basically through this adapter that I got from, what is it called? I can find this. Hawkwoods. Hawkwoods makes this adapter. It converts DTAP to a 72 watts of USB output. So 60 watts USB-C, 12 watts or something like that. Maybe it's 16. 18. So 18 watts USB 3.0, 60 watts USB-C. That is just going straight from the V-mount into my Fujifilm X-T3. And it'll power it for eternity because it's off of this 150 watt hour V-mount battery. That's how I powered the X-T3 forever. The GH5 just has, the GH5 right there, just has straight up great battery life. I just switch out the batteries once in a while. It'll last for an hour and a half. And the Nikon Z6 also has pretty good battery life. There you go. Jake, also, how sad are you that Nikon didn't add the flip out screen to the Z6 too? I'm only a little sad about that. I didn't expect them to add the flip out screen. It'd be too much of a form factor change. They'd have to change the model number from Z6 II to like Z6Z Mark 7. I don't know. I didn't expect it. I don't know. I just expected. I don't know what I expected really with Nikon. Maybe a full-size HDMI that would make me want to buy it. But so now I have like the mini HDMI, the micro HDMI, and the full-size HDMI. So I don't know. Nikon, it's a great camera. It's just I don't see them as the exciting thing. They don't pull interest as much as Sony does or Canon does or Red even now. Cry the Prophet, Tommy, how do you feed your audio from your MixPre 3? Is the computer or a switcher? Well, the MixPre 3 over here. So this is straight into the MixPre 3. The MixPre 3 then uses an audio line out cable into the Blackmagic Atom Mini Pro into mic 1. It's sitting right here. That's how I do it, straight through the Atom Mini Pro. So all that kind of chain of events is happening right there. Let's have some whiskey. Dope angles. Guess we got to rewatch this when I have audio. Oh, thanks for showing up, Nils. Hey, so just here for the chat. JC, abusing your kindness. I'm planning use a green screen. So what kind of low budget lights to light the screen and in very small house bedroom space would you recommend? So for lighting a green screen, you need separation. So get two of the biggest lights that you can find, or if you can't get big lights or you have COB lights, get some diffusion and then get those to light the green screen separately, and then get a light that will rim light outline you, kind of like what I have going on here, how I'm outlined from the background, and then a good key light. You need to make sure they're lit separately. That's all. If you use an RGB light, you can just light the green screen with green and it'll be a little bit easier to key. So there's that. I guess that's my advice. Shelvik says, Jake, oh, he's just talking to Jake. Chris, you're mixing all the inputs through an HDMI mixer, a mixer right, rather than OBS? Do you have a video on HDMI mixers? Yeah, this is so Chris, if you go through my my live streams in a playlist, I have a playlist on my channel called live streams. I've gone through the whole setup a couple of different times. It's just the it's just the Atom Mini Pro. I have everything powered through that. It doesn't even need to be plugged into your computer after you have it set up. It's just plugged straight into a router. So that's the best way to do it, in my opinion, because then if your computer shuts down, you can actually still be streaming technically. And Topic Ruben, thanks for showing up, my friend. And oh, thank you, the Bullhead Bourbon thumbnail. Yeah, I might have to get more because that's starting to become my live stream brand. But next week, I think it'll be Highland Park. And on to today's topic, which is staying consistent, basically. I think that's what I labeled it, right? Being consistent. Okay. Oops. Where are we? Here we go. So being consistent. Oh, Shovik, real quick. You said check your previous comment. Fujifilm will make a compact modular GFX last year in Dubai. They mentioned it in the future. If global shutter is available, they'll be using that form factor. Interesting. Yeah, I think any camera that is released that has global shutter is going to be really, really interesting, especially as more people learn about lighting and flashes and banding and striping and frame rates and things like that. Global shutter is incredible for people that are really concerned with lighting and rolling shutter and just getting the best shot. So moving on, getting on to being consistent. So today I almost postponed the stream just to like the next week. There's a lot going on. It was a really busy day. Didn't super duper want to do it. I have my wife ordered pizza. I've got pizza sitting for me, waiting for me, right on the stove. It got here 3 minutes, before I started the stream. I love pizza. Pizza is the best. First off, I eat pepperoni and pineapple pizza. You either love it or you hate it. Someone probably just unsubscribed because I said that, which is fine. You can go because you don't like pineapple and you hate me. So it's just, I don't know, pepperoni, pineapple, that's my flavor. That's the one that I like. So I have pizza waiting for me on the stove. And there's a lot going on. And, I just thought, maybe I'll just skip this one. Who cares? But then there's, it's for me, right? Like I told myself when I started doing these things that I'm going to do it every Wednesday. There's going to be nights that I don't want to do it as much, but getting through it, I'm going to be proud of myself for having stuck to it, stuck to the schedule, stuck to the plan, the idea that I had that I'm going to be consistent. I'm going to try this thing for a little while and see what happens. I know that there's people that show up to the stream every Wednesday night. And now I think that even some of the people that are in the chat right now, they look forward to it. They enjoy hanging out and seeing these different lighting situations. I don't do this full time. I do it, on the weekends and on Wednesday nights. That's it. There's not a lot of time that I have to invest in creating. And so spending the time to work with these lights that I have, and all these companies have been so generous to give me and kind of talk with you guys in real time about what I'm doing in these fun lights and lighting situations, and just kind of relax with you guys, have a drink, enjoy myself, let you guys ask questions. People that tell me that they're my fans, my invisible army, which I think that's still just the weirdest thing to say. I just decided that I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to stay consistent and I'm going to see what happens. So I think that everyone should pick something that they want to do and just do it for a while, right? Be consistent, because sometimes they say if you're going to be a successful person, that you need to be consistent. You need to show up when you don't want to show up. If being successful was hard, or if it was easy, everyone would be successful. And so I'm not saying that I'm going to be the world's most successful streamer. I don't care about that, right? Like this is for me, right? This is just, I want to see what I can create in an hour every Wednesday. And so I spend 15 minutes scrambling together before 10 o'clock on Wednesday night, throw some lights on, try and make a thumbnail now. And I guess I should schedule these things, but I never do. I want to get better at it. I think that understanding live streaming is important in 2020 because that is where real-time communication is going as far as a person that makes video for a living, right? So that's an important skill to know how to do. And it would be ignorant to think otherwise, right? Social distancing is not going away tomorrow. There's always going to be a need for being able to create a high quality stream. And most of that comes down to good lighting and knowing how the technology works. And so that's what I'm doing here, right? I think that my lighting is pretty decent. That is kind of what my channel's focus is. Lighting for live is no different than lighting for a regular video. It's just kind of being a presenter and sharing what I know in real time is very different than an edited video. So anyways, that's what I'm doing here. And even though I have plans and I have things going on, I still wanted to make time just to continue with my own goals. Topic Ruben says, haha, don't say pineapple on a pizza here in Italy. Adam Rich, gross. John V, blasphemy. Yeah, okay, right. There's a lot of people that don't like pepperoni and pineapple on a pizza, and that's fine. Thumbs up, guys. He's doing an awesome job for us. Thank you. Yes, smash that thumbs up button. I know you're feeling about the Aperture Nova 300. It may be overkill, but I'm drawn to it. My studio is about 400 square feet. Is this light too much? No, absolutely not. You can never have too much light. In fact, right there, Aperture Nova, it's one of the easiest dollar to lumen, like dollar to value investments you can make in lighting. I think everyone should save up and get themselves an Aperture Nova just so they know what a quality light is. That's a quality light. It's excellent. There are better lights, but they also cost significantly more. So that's the best value full color panel and that you can get on the market, period. Yeah, the Nova is still on back order. That's because everybody keeps buying them, I suppose. I don't work there, so I can't tell you. Gabe Harris, thanks so much, Tommy. I'm on the East Coast, so I'm going to log off. Have a good night and catch you on the VOD. Hey, thanks for showing up, Gabe. Shovik, yes, global shutter is the next big thing. 120 megapixels, shooting at 15 frames per second will be endgame for me. Plus, Fuji gives 4K 10-bit internal recordings, no time limit. Yeah, that's something that not a lot of people talk about, right? Fujifilm has internal 10-bit 4K. That's cool. They came out with that a couple of years ago on their X-T3. That's crazy. Topic Ruben. Being consistent is a key factor, man, not only related to schedule, but also regarding color and videos, photography, thumbnails. Yeah, if you guys have followed my Instagram at all, you've probably seen that at least for the past 6 months, maybe the past year, all of my Instagram photos have been very consistent in theme as far as like dark and moody, fun, contrasty equipment photos. And that's kind of the theme that I'm going for with my channel is I want to be like that. I want to be saturated, contrasty, moody, dark, interesting, mysterious. That's kind of the theme that I'm going for with my aesthetic. And it's all due to lighting, really. And so we've got a little bit here left. Answer a couple more questions. I'm going to head off and eat that pizza. Invisible Army Tommy. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. People always say there's a better way to spend time, but there are far worse ways to spend 1.5 hours a week, especially in COVID times. I think I've heard that any time that you waste enjoying yourself, let's rephrase that. Any time that you spend enjoying yourself is not wasted. You need leisure. You need hobbies. You need to enjoy yourself. You need to have fun. You need to be happy. You need to have a hobby, right? If you're doing something that you enjoy an hour or two a day, right? it's not a waste of time if you enjoyed doing it. You know, have some time for you. No, yeah. Any recommendations on lower priced HDMI mixers, Chris? Yeah, there is. I think that I forget what company it is, but they just came out with one, and it's like $200 roughly. I'll find it and I'll post it on Twitter or something if I can find it again. But the Atom Mini, not the Pro version, that one's $300. And then there's like one that's $200 from an off-brand, and I guess that's as low as I can recommend for a camera switcher. I'll find it. Yes, who's asking about the Lido light? I got 2 Lido lights here on the bourbon glass over here. If you want to rewind back to the beginning of the stream, I went through all the lights, but don't do it now because we're live and that's more fun. But, you know, get that watch time up. We got Tommy. I ended up getting a Luxley Timpani. Cry the Prophet. Man, you got to tell me about it. You got to measure some specs. Let me know how it is. See if you like it. I've been very intrigued by the Luxley Timpani. Exercise Enlightenment. Thank you for the great answer. I will be buying one now. You're welcome, and thank you if you use my affiliate link. If you don't, you know, it's okay. I've got a full-time job. This is a hobby, but you know, there's a link in the description. Celedonio Garcia, is that little? I answered that question. Like the lighting on the glass. Thank you guys. Yeah, I always try to light myself and the glass separately in all of my videos, or my live streams anyways. That's kind of the theme, right? So get lit while getting lit, have a glass of whiskey, light the whiskey, make it fun to look at, and then talk about the lights. I have 2 different ways to light it. So I did one, I really like the way that I lit it. I don't know if it was the week before last where I had the warm fire lights going. That one, I really like the way it looked, because I lit the glass with the flickering flame style special effect from the Aperture Nova, but you could only see it in the shot of the glass. There was no reflection anywhere. I looked lit completely separately, still warm light, but there was no flicker effect on me. So it's just a challenge, a small little baby challenge on Wednesdays, right? To light these things separately. Andy the Lab, agree. This is a great stream. Thank you so much. And thank you, Top Ruben, for showing up. Really appreciate you always being here, and I appreciate your tweets and all your comments, man. You're awesome. John V, what's the best way you found to get sponsors? Email them. Send emails. So I am relentless. It's so easy to get in touch with a brand. Go to their website, find the contact form. If there's a marketing contact form, find it. Or an email. Usually it's marketing@XYZ company. Find the person or just the email that you can talk to, and handwrite a custom email. There's no copy paste formula. You have to handwrite a custom email of what you could bring to them, and it helps if you have a catalog of videos that are similar to something that you want to create. As far as I'm going to do this kind of shot, it's going to be a really interesting project, and if you can. Having a catalog of videos really helps, because they want to know the quality of the video that you're going to create. They don't care how many views or subscribers you have, really, because at the end of the day, it's going to cost them tens of thousands of dollars to produce the video that you're pitching them. So if they can do it for the cost of a product, cool. If they can do it for a cost of a couple grand based on, viewership and CPM and, your own experience working with brands, then it's easy. That's a whole. I think that maybe next week we'll talk about getting sponsors. I'm relatively small in terms of being a YouTube channel, but I've lined up sponsors and I've gotten paid and I've gotten lots of free stuff. And again, this is just a hobby. I don't do commercial videography in any shape. This is my weekend, side hustle for fun in my house. I don't have clients. I don't go out on to location, which is a little bit of a disadvantage for me because when I try and get BTS footage of me using products, it's usually me in this tiny room or sometimes rarely in my backyard. So, anyone that's trying to do this has a much better chance at succeeding than I do. So just think about that, right? Let's see, we got some more comments here. The Elgato Wave, can't go wrong with the Atom Mini, technically the Elgato Wave 3. Is that another device probably for streaming, I imagine? JC, I would like to share my first studio, including my lights suggested by you, and get feedback from you. Would that be possible? And where to post? Yeah, just send me a message on Twitter. I'm very active on Twitter. I'm very responsive. I'll check it out, respond. At TG Calloway on Twitter. Exercise Enlightenment, I'll use your link. Thank you so much. Super appreciate that. That helps me, do more crap like this on my channel. That's what that is. Make more stuff. Why not film between 14.4 and 14.8 for VMAT battery, 0.4 make a difference to power camera, monitor, and focus monitor. I don't know. I think that's just marketing, honestly, because the way a VMAT battery charges is based on the input voltage. And if you have a charger that is inputting, 16.8 or 17 volts, that's what the VMAT battery is charged to. So whatever they're putting on their sticker doesn't matter. It's going to be charged to whatever your input voltage is when you're charging it. And the top voltage is like 16.8. And then nominal voltage is like, 12 or 13 volts. I don't know what the nominal voltage is, the minimum voltage. But that's a range. It's not consistently 14.4 or 14.8 volts. It doesn't matter. Just get a VNAT battery. However, make sure that whatever voltage is very close to whatever you're putting your batteries on. For example, there is a V-mount to NPF converter that will convert your 16.8 to 17 volt V-mount battery into an NPF battery. If you stick that thing onto a piece of equipment that only does up to like 12 volts, then you're going to fry it. So unless it's voltage regulated, which some of them are not. So that's things to think about. This little thing that I have down here that's powering the Fujifilm, the USB thing. USB 3 and USB-C have power negotiation, so you don't have to worry about that, which is why I like it so much. We can get in, this is like Gerald Undone level nerd tech. So I'm gonna skip through that now. Shovik says, Tommy, are you music lover? If so, what are your current favorite headphones, IEMs, albums? Oh, dude, I listen to music constantly. I listen to EDM, electronic music, constantly because I'm a programmer. My day job is writing code. So I throw the headphones on. I listen to some ridiculous electronic music, and I write code all day. All kinds of music, really, but mainly that. Also, I have a soft spot in my heart for Metallica. Love Metallica. And Chris, does Tommy offer video consulting services? I'll do video consulting for money. Just, I guess it depends. If the dollar per hour adds up to me closing off clients, I could do that. It's just I can't cut out my day job career to open up video consulting if it's going to net me a loss. I'm very strategic about how I spend my professional time. So that's something to consider. Maybe group consulting would be. Consider this live stream group consulting, right? It's free and it's fun. We can all do it. One-on-one consulting, I haven't considered really. Send me a message on Twitter if something transpires out of that. I'd love to do video creation full time. It's just I don't think that there's enough opportunity for me yet to do that consistently on a full-time basis to support my family. So that's where that is. Andy, well, let's talk about how sponsors don't like to pay, but can give you product all day. That's true. Here's my philosophy on that. One, products have margin, right? And so a healthy product is going to have a healthy margin is going to be 30%. Exorbitant margin is going to be, digital products, right? they're 100% profit. So somewhere in between, I think, is where a lot of things that tech reviewers and people, acquire get, right? So maybe let's go with 35%. That's a pretty safe number, right? For a margin on a product that someone's selling. If a company sends you one product, then if your video sells 3 ever, they've made 100% of their investment back without having to pay you any money. But if you keep the product and your video sucks and doesn't refer any sales for some reason, which is basically impossible at this point on the internet, they've still only lost, a portion of what the dollar amount would be. And it's still a write-off for them. So that's kind of where I see that. But the perceived value of someone like me or like the tech reviewer is the entire retail value of the item that you're reviewing, because potentially you could resell it after you're done reviewing it. So there's a whole bunch of different dynamics in the why they do that. But I think becoming a paid professional and only accepting quotes for money will net you less business on YouTube, simply because that's the way the tech economy works. And it will also net you less credibility, because the way people perceive people that make videos on YouTube is, if you got money to make a video, then you're an asshole. But if you got free product to review, then it's fine. That doesn't make any sense. Whatever. Shelva K, let's not crap on your videos, are very informative. Thank you. Yeah, I think that I try to be fairly informative, but also entertaining. John V, thanks, Tommy. I'll stop by next week. Appreciate the content. Enjoy your pizza. Thank you. Yeah, it's 11 o'clock. I went past when I wanted to go, and we are almost out of whiskey here. And now we're out. And because of that, the live stream, we've concluded our bottle of Bullet Bourbon. So over the next week, if anyone has a bottle that they want to send me, connect with me and I'll write your YouTube channel on it, and then I'll drink that over the next week. Otherwise, I'm going to go acquire a bottle of Highland Park 18 year, one of my favorite scotches, and we're going to be drinking that over the next couple weeks. So that's it for me today. Thank you guys for showing up. All of you, each and every one of you. I appreciate your kind words, your showing up, and you're listening to me and validating my whatever I'm doing here. I appreciate you much more than you appreciate me. Thanks for showing up. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. And let's get on to some goodbye music here, because I know how to do that now. By the way, I use Artlist for my music, and this isn't sponsored or anything, but if you like Artlist, there's links in a lot of my videos on where you can I'm an affiliate. If you're gonna sign up for Artlist, you don't have to use my link.